Beautiful. Okay, so the true story is I just finished watching all 4 of the videos, at least that I had access to. Kraven the Hunter, Righteous Fury, Dark Crystal, Creatures of the Night.
Yes.
You guys write some catchy tunes.
Yeah, I can't get them out of my head either.
I know. So one of the questions I was going to ask is, as soon as I saw, the band name, the artwork, the everything, I knew it was power metal. So obviously you guys have that dialed in. But my next question was going to be, okay, how do you keep power metal fresh? Because especially as a drummer, I mean, how many drum beats do you actually have access to?
So basic, power metal drumming it's just 3 beats, It's boom ka ba ba boom ba ba, and then just straight up double pedal, and then the gobble, you don't need anything else.
No. Well, then the quad fills. I noticed there's a couple of quad fills you got in there as well.
Yeah, who doesn't love some quad fills?
That's right. And then of course you have to have. There's certain lyrics you have to have, and I believe I just saw all of them in one song in Dark Crystal. You have to have Glorious, you have to have Rise, you have to have Victorious.
That might be on purpose. Who knows? We know all of the right words, for power metal.
Mm-hmm. This is very true. And something I noticed as well, 2 of the videos are animated. Well, one's kind of a lyric video with animations. The other one's totally animated, which is super cool. And then we've got the other 2 that are like, I don't know, real videos, whatever you would call them, real people.
Yeah.
It looks like, did you guys film those on the same day? It looks almost like same clothes, same instruments.
Maybe. Yeah. So when we were taping the Kraven the Hunter video, we got Glenn Hoverton over to Iceland, and we only had 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the day it was like 10 hours to videotape Kraven, and then the studio called and said, we want a playthrough video of Righteous Fury, and we were like that tired and after a hard days of work, That's why we were pretty grim in that video, and
I could see some bloodshot eyes, and I knew that it was just because of the epicness.
Yeah.
Of having a keytar.
Yeah, the pressure from that thing just, crushes your head and makes your eyes boil.
Yeah, we got a keytar. We got the. You got a couple of Spjorg notes in there too.
Sorry, what?
The Spjorg note. I could be saying it wrong.
Spear notes.
Spear note? Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen the movie Eurovision?
Yeah, no, not really. No.
Okay. So, in the movie, there's a couple of Icelandic people who are trying to get into the Eurovision Song Contest. Yeah. And they're from Húsavík.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the ability to sing what's called a Spjorg note.
Oh,
yeah. So I figured, since you're in Iceland, we'd chat about Húsavík, we'd chat about the elves. We'd keep it fresh, we'd keep it real.
Yeah, sure. But I don't know about the Spjorg notes.
Okay. Maybe they made that up. I figured it was like some kind of Icelandic folklore or something.
I really need to check that out. Okay. If it's some bullshit or something that is in the Icelandic sagas.
Mm-hmm. This is very true. Because the young man that you have on vocals, Atli, is that how I say his name? Atli?
Yeah.
Atli, yeah. I mean, he's got some range. Who's doing the Cookie Monster vocals? Is it him too?
No, it's our friend. His name is Óskar Rúnarsson, and he is in a band called Nexion. It's a death metal band.
Uh-huh. So that's one of the things that I thought was really cool about your guys' tunes is you've got these moments where all of a sudden we get a little death metal.
Yeah.
Just for a few moments. How did that conversation happen? Was it planned that way, or how did that happen where all of a sudden we kind of go death metal, but it doesn't sound like a clash. It sounds like something that needed to be there.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how we decided this. It just fit. We wanted something some heavy vocals saying some fantasy shit,
Heavy vocals saying some fantasy shit. So what is there a theme or a concept to this record then? This album?
Not as a whole. No. I mean, we do have some reoccurring, names like Evermore, and that's but there's no reoccurring theme through the album. It's more like every song has its own theme, and I mean, all these songs, they were written over a long period of time, 3 years.
I was just reading that. As you were speaking, I was just reading that these tunes have kind of been around for almost as long as the band has been around.
Yeah, this is just us compiling all the songs that we had been making over this period of time and just wanted to release them. Mm-hmm. So maybe next album will be more of a concept, Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. So take me through this process then, because this is absolutely fascinating. How many bands have, started, they take years to write material and it either just dies on a hard drive somewhere or something, but instead you guys said, let's keep going. And now you're chatting with a guy in Canada.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
about elves. So
yeah.
How does that feel, by the way, that or maybe maybe two questions, Kalli. Number one is, what was the driving motivator to finish the songs as a group, get the whole brand identity down, get a label, get it out there?
So, I mean, the driving force was we just wanted to release a record just to prove to ourselves that we actually could do it. And I mean, we've all been in many bands that have been playing for years and doing concerts, but never recorded a whole album, for exception of Ingi. But we were just, it happens too often that you start a band, you make some good ass material, and then the band splits up without you recording anything or making impact,
Yeah, that's why I asked that question.
Yeah, what was it more?
No, but that's pretty much. But you summed it up there. I mean, how many times have you written some material, maybe even better than what's on this record here, right?
Yeah.
Not to say that it could get better. I mean, you guys have Ms. Pac-Man. Getting sucked into a Ms. Pac-Man machine. How did you guys get a hold of a Ms. Pac-Man machine? Or was the only machine that was available?
Yeah, we were just using what was available at the place, It is where Atle and Bjarni work. It's their office.
That's their actual office, eh? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. So that's his actual desk. He's got Zelda there. He writes code for a living.
Yeah, I mean, we changed a little bit.
Sure.
It isn't a desk that is just in the middle of the office, like he's the only one there. But yeah,
working those late nights, making sure that all quotas are met because he's a warrior.
Yeah, it's a legit code, the code that they wrote. We have 3 programmers in this band, so.
Wow. Okay. Does that come as an asset as in terms of DIY band stuff? Like, do you guys able to make your own, I don't know, web pages? Is there anything that comes in handy with?
Yeah. I mean, we made our own website. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think more valuable skill is having a sound engineer in the band. That saves you a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have a sound engineer in the band? Because I see a lot of credits here for studios, producers, that kind of thing. And the sound on the record is great, obviously, number one. So we could talk about your drum sound for a bit, too. The drums that show up in the music video, is that what you tracked with?
Yeah. Obviously, it's very sampled. Everything is...
Sure.
Yeah. It's basically
Yeah. Did you do
nothing live about it almost. It's a very computer sounding drums.
Okay.
Sorry, that's power metal for you.
No, I completely understand that. I also do like, audio engineering and stuff, and it came across my radar when I started getting into the whole thing. Obviously, when you go to school, you learn how to record drums, how to gate drums, how to get drums to sound good. And then after they teach you all of that, they go, you're just going to use a drum sample. And then you just kind of go, well, why did you teach me all of that? And then you start going through this phase of like crying on the inside. And then they show you songs from the early 80s that all throughout the 80s, you basically find out that it's the same 2 drum samples that they use for music throughout all the 80s. And you don't recognize it until you start hearing the songs back to back, and you start crying like, oh, my whole life is a lie.
Yeah. Okay.
But I was curious though, there's so many different ways to do it creatively. You could have your shells being samples, but your overheads and room maybe are real to kind of blend it together, or maybe the whole thing is just superior drummer. There's so many different ways of going about doing it, and especially as a drummer, sometimes you have some creative control in that. Like, hey, you know what? The best sound we can get is if we do it this way. And so I'm obviously just curious, how did you go about having those discussions and producing the drums?
Basically, Ingi said, this drum set will not sound power metal enough, so we will sample it. We will sample everything.
Yes. And then you said,
fine.
We're going to sample the guitars then too.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm not a drumming, a drum tech guy. I just like to hit stuff with a stick, and that's
right.
That's my forte,
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, as I was checking off the list, I had my checklist, like, okay, this is power metal, as I was watching the videos. And the funny thing is Atlee showed up first in one of the videos that I saw. I think it was Kraven the Hunter. And I thought that he was the drummer because I'm like, oh, power metal, you can't have sleeves when you're playing the drums. But then you showed up in a sleeveless shirt. So I thought, okay, good. We're keeping the rules.
Yeah, I played in a
you're wearing
sleeveless.
Yeah, you're wearing sleeves today. Yeah.
Such a long time ago. No.
I know. Well, that's a good point. How long ago were those music videos filmed?
No. I think it was October.
That's not that bad.
No. I just have a bad memory. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you had said, man, all this stuff's been in the can for a year. We just had to shop around for a label, and the label had to do its thing, and then, So...
well, cool. The album was finished in early, February, exactly a year ago, basically.
Yeah.
And we got in contact with Atomic Fire Records, and, well, basically... we're just talking on Zoom meetings for 8 months or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they issued you a contract and you wiped it with your butt, and they that whole thing, eh? Okay. So it looks like another note is something peaked at position number 1 on X977's charts. Is that the whole album? Air guitar-provoking lead single Kraven the Hunter, a track that's frequently been aired via Iceland's radio stations. What's that like being on the radio?
It's weird. It's very weird. And so, story behind that, we just finished mastering Kraven the Hunter, and they had, this is the main rock station in Iceland, Exit is called, and they had a competition for amateur bands to send in their songs and win some money. So at first we weren't really gonna send in. We weren't really interested in it, but then we just decided, all right, let's just see what happens. Let's send it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a one play on the radio or something. But,
yeah. I mean, it's crazy you mentioned that, because I have a friend who is obsessed with that. I'm always getting emails like, hey, we entered this contest, go vote for me, kind of thing. And I'm like, man, you must spend like people clip coupons. Like, he goes and looks for contests to enter into. And a lot of times, yeah, it's like he gets played on a radio station at like, 11:30 at night. And sometimes there's maybe a little bit more, right? But I imagine that if I were at a radio station and I was listening to local bands, obviously I don't know the scene all that well in Iceland other than bands I've chatted with that are mostly like, black metal kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would imagine that just from my position as somebody who interviews bands, and I get a lot of requests for interviews, that going through and listening, that if I had heard Kraven the Hunter, I probably would have blown my mind.
Yeah, so apparently it got very popular. We were number one for a month or two, I don't remember.
Yeah. Did you know that? Like when you were writing the song and submitting it, or were you so humble that you thought, it's just another song?
Yeah, so basically we picked the most, the catchiest and most rock, it's glam power metal, not pure power metal.
Yeah.
So it's radio friendly. We decided, that's the most radio friendly song we have. Let's test it out. And we did not win the competition, by the way. But
who were the bastards, the swineless bastards who won?
Some indie band. I can't remember their names.
I can't remember their names either.
They didn't go to number one. No.
Nope. No, they didn't. So who cares about winning competitions? You got to go to number one.
Yeah.
What is it that Drake said? It's not about who did it first. It's about who did it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. A cabin outside Reykjavik and Ingi's bedroom. So at what point did the studio get involved, I guess is the question. Because in today's day and age, you could have recorded this whole thing in Ingi's bedroom.
Yeah. It was probably all.
Oh, okay.
I mean, all the guitar, all the bass.
Yeah. Is that a mini bass?
All the keyboard. Huh?
Is his bass, is it a small bass? It looks like a mini bass.
No, it's very large. He's just a very large dude.
Oh, big dude. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's a very regular bass.
Yeah. Crystallifer?
Christlever. Yes.
Christlever. Okay.
Yeah.
You call him Chris for short?
Krille.
Krille. Okay.
Krille. Yeah.
Okay.
We're Kalli, we're Krille, It's very confusing for foreigners.
Yes, being a foreigner to Iceland, I'm incredibly confused, but I'm working through it. We'll stand glorious, victorious. It will shine euphorious, baby.
Yeah. Our naming traditions are very complicated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that. Okay. The other thing that I noticed too is, especially in the animation, maybe you can take us through this, like who did it and everything, but it's almost like I thought I was going to jump into a Scooby-Doo thing. So like 1970s animation, but the color scheme screamed 80s / really early 90s to me.
So, I mean, we basically, so the University of Melbourne in Australia contacted Atomic Fire and asked if they could take one of our songs and make a project, a video.
Wow. And
we just picked the only song that met basically their criteria, with the length and
the girth.
The lyrics are pretty descriptive of what is happening. So they had an easy task figuring out what they should draw. So I don't know about the color or anything. They just presented us with this video and we absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
It was everything we hoped for and more.
Yeah. I was hoping to fight back the wolves with the guitar solo,
Yeah. We the only thing we wanted was some fighting for survival scheme with the creatures of the night.
Yeah, creatures of the night. Is that about wolves? What is creatures of the night about?
Yeah, it's something Atli is battling in it with in his mind or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I do drums.
Right.
I know words.
Right. Exactly. And I can see you counting out 16th notes when you're playing too. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I do the numbers.
Right.
They will do all the letters and the alphabet. Who knows how to read?
It's very true. You'll count to 4 and then to 4 again. And then once again to 4.
Yeah, very, very quickly.
Fantastic. Okay. Is there anything on the record that most excites you? I mean, there's 4 songs that got released. Obviously, you've got Kraven the Hunter that caused a bit of stardom for you guys. Now you can't even go grocery shopping without your entourage. Right.
So true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah. Getting mauled. But I mean, you got it's funny because at the beginning of this interview, somewhere towards the beginning, we said this could have just been another hard drive.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Who knew that this would go this far, basically? I mean, it's like one lucky thing after another. I mean, there are many great bands there that make great songs and nobody noticed them.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens.
Yeah. Well, there's so many guys in the band too. I remember seeing one of the promo pictures, and I was like, oh man, so many people have a hard time just putting a band together. Never mind, you guys have how many people? Like 6 people?
Yeah,
1, 2,
it's
3,
basically the whole power metal fan base in Iceland.
that was gonna be my next thing. Like, how popular is what you guys are doing to be able to put a freaking band of 6 people together with a guitar? How is it? Is that a thing?
Yeah, so we our keyboardist is actually a drummer that learned how to play keyboards because we didn't need a drummer. So he joined a little bit after me, and so I took the drumming spot, and he decided, I want to join. I'm just gonna learn what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Keyboards. Sure, I'll learn how to play the keyboards.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that's something all the keyboard players out there who think that they're hot stuff.
Yeah.
A drummer just picked it up.
Easy.
Wow, wow. Well, I guess that also kind of maybe explains, and nothing to say, anything bad about his stuff, because it's good stuff, but it still is guitar heavy stuff. Like, I'm not hearing any keyboard solos or anything.
No, I mean, just like the drumming and the keyboards, it should be in the background. No offense to any keyboard players or other. It's just my opinion that these are just to support the guitarist and the singer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who do the main thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's smart. And I think it's in Righteous Fury where you guys have this juxtaposition thing going on where the vocals have like a very streamlined melody, but you're just going bonkers over on the drums, but it ends up working really well. I think it's the chorus in Righteous Fury.
Yeah, I think so. A little bit of double bass going on.
Mm-hmm.
Burn out the warrior.
Yeah. And you're like doing your thing.
It's fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's tiring.
Is it?
Yes. Especially live. You waste much more energy live.
Yeah, you probably end up going faster. Or do you guys play to a click?
We play to a click.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's smart. Otherwise, you'd be done with power metal. You could be done with your 30-minute set in like 7 minutes.
Yeah. That was my previous band. Like, we have 5 songs and we finished them in 15 minutes. And the singer's like, "What the fuck did you guys do?" Just out of breath.
Yeah. What do you mean? What did we do? Maybe you should get better at your job.
Yeah.
We all had fun.
Sing quicker.
Yeah. Sing quicker. I can do double bass. Can't you do double vocals? Like, come on.
Boom.
Oh. Okay. What else is there to chat about the record? Am I missing anything? Is there anything that excites you the most about the record? Do you have a favorite song on the record?
Yes. I have two, actually.
Okay, take us through it.
Forbidden Forest is just so epic, and my favorite part is the middle part with the symphony and with the choirs, like he is the chosen one. I love it. It's so power metal. That is what power metal is to me.
Who did
such epicness?
Who did the choirs and the orchestra and all that stuff?
We did.
Yeah.
And basically, this is all just Atli and Inge and Bjarni singing many layers of vocals. And Bjarni, our keyboardist, he did all the symphony and everything like that.
Okay.
Very talented guys.
Yeah, no, incredibly. Whenever I hear choirs, I can almost usually tell. Now, I haven't had a chance to hear that song, but yeah, I mean, two ways of skinning that cat. You can either hire a choir, or you just sing it a bajillion times and put enough reverb and compression on it to make it sound like it's all one take in one room.
Yeah, the old Hansi Kulch method. I sing 20 voices in this song. Make me sound like a choir.
Yeah, but I mean, to do all the different ranges and different vocal inflections and whatnot, I mean, that takes time, man.
Yeah, they spent a week in a cabin outside of Reykjavik.
Yeah,
doing that.
Yeah, that's what it says here. At a cabin outside Reykjavik. So that's what was going on at the cabin.
Yeah, that was just vocals.
Wow.
Everything else was done. So
yeah, very cool. Now the label says we're going to find out in chapter 2. So is there a plan for another record already?
Not really. Okay. I mean, we are pitching ideas for songs. It's nothing is ready or set in stone about that.
Yeah. Okay. Usually, in bygone days, in our quote unquote normal days, I'd be saying, tell us about this amazing. It's what day is it today? February. You guys are going to be going on a beautiful tour this summer. What kind of plans do you guys have? I guess. How are things in Iceland, or like what I guess is there a plan? Can you plan?
Basically, no. Not until next year.
Yeah.
That is what we have been told by our professionals. Like either nothing is happening or everything is booked. Basically.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I'm holding out for 2023 as well. So far, I've had minimal fun in 2022.
Yeah, and hopefully we can make it to mainland Europe next year.
Yeah.
Do some festivals.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. And then to Canada, and you can come out to BFE in Gimli.
Yeah. Yes. I would be so pepped to go and play in Canada. I love Canada.
Thank you. And I was so surprised to hear somebody from across the pond say Gimli. And I'm from Manitoba originally, so it's like, wait a minute, where? In the middle of nowhere? In Manitoba? That's fantastic. They must be off catching mosquitoes and fishing.
The 1/3 of the population of Iceland went to Canada in like 1980 somethings. So.
Oh no.
You have a lot of us.
Probably all playing hockey for us too.
Yeah, at least a few thousand people. That's a lot for us Icelanders. We're so few.
Yeah, I know. Cool. All right. Now you should have another interview coming up right now, right?
Yeah. That's
okay.
True.
All right, so to be polite, we'll go ahead and cut it short. So for everybody who is tuning in right now live on Twitch, thank you so much. And then we'll go ahead and get this posted onto YouTube after I download the video. And this is, I have to read it every single time, with the Magic of Windfyre Steel, out January 7th via Atomic Fire Records. And I mean, other thing that's cool is it's a new label. You guys are one of their first releases, so congratulations there.
Yeah, it's amazing. So dream come true, basically.
Yeah. Freaking amazing. Good stuff. Sweet. Okay. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today then, Kalli.
Thank you, John. Just for giving us the platform to speak to people outside of Iceland,
Very true. All right. Cheers. You have yourself a good rest of your evening where you are and a good interview.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
See
welcome.
you.
Cheers.